Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Cycle on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Mukhtar Kasim. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and on Star Times channel 276. We begin with labor issues where the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, today staged a protest over rising insecurity in different parts of the country. The Congress was joined in the protest by several civil society organizations. In Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, the protesters marched from the NLC Secretariat under the watch of security agents from the Nigerian Police Force, the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, and the Department of State Services. They later moved to the Federal Capital Territory Ministry of Finance. In Lagos State, the NLC members and civil society groups marched from Ikeja, the state capital, to the government house in Alausa. The Rivers State chapter of the NLC embarked on a peaceful march from its secretariat to Port Harcourt-Aba Expressway. In the meantime, the Labour Congress in Kano State has called on the federal government to urgently find a sustainable solution to the rising insecurity across the country. During a peaceful protest held in the front of the Kano State Government House, workers decried the increasing attacks on ordinary citizens. Global Television correspondent Idris Jibrin has details.
Members of the Nigeria Labour Congress from the 44 local government areas of Kano State gathered at the Government House to voice their concerns over the growing insecurity in the country. The protest, according to the union, is part of a nationwide campaign to draw attention to the frequent bandit attacks, kidnappings in the north, and activities of militia groups in the south, all of which they say threaten the nation's economic and social stability.
Drawing the attention of the President and the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces to do the needful for ensuring the security of the masses and the entire country. Because we are not secure. There is always insecurity in Nigeria and it's escalating. That is why we intend to stage this peaceful protest to draw the attention of the powers that be so that they can please give us their attention and try their best to secure our lives and properties.
The union is urging the federal government to improve the welfare of security operatives, especially those on the front lines, while stressing that no Nigerian should live in constant fear despite the country's vast resources.
The essence of this protest today is because of the insecurity. It's a decision that was taken by the National Executive Council of the Nigerian Labour Congress that we should state a protest in order to protest against the insecurity that is happening in Nigeria.
While receiving the protesters, officials from the Kano State government commended the peaceful nature of the protest and promised to forward their message to President Bola Tinubu for prompt action.
The issue. So the Labour is exercising its constitutional rights and it is doing it peacefully as per the constitutional provisions. So the government's position on this matter is positive. We welcome any positive interaction in a peaceful manner.
The state government also reaffirms its commitment to working closely with civil society groups to ensure sustained peace and security across the states. From Kano, Idris Jibrin, Global Television News.
Back here in Abuja, the House of Representatives has issued an ultimatum to the Central Bank of Nigeria to conclude an ongoing reconciliation with the Ministry of Finance and Fiscal Responsibility Commission over alleged unremitted revenues running into trillions of naira. Our National Assembly correspondent Anita Patrick reports.
The directive came from the House Committee on Public Accounts after the Central Bank of Nigeria requested additional time to appear before the committee following a resolution summoning the Apex Bank's governor. Chairman of the committee, Bamidele Salam, recalled that the investigation was initiated by a joint sitting of the committees on public accounts and public assets over alleged violations of the Constitution and the Fiscal Responsibility Act. According to the committee, reports from the Fiscal Responsibility Commission, the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation, and a special audit allegedly showed that the CBN failed to remit about 5.2 trillion naira in operating surplus between 2015 and 2022. Other alleged infractions include outstanding remittances following the transition to the Treasury single account, Discrepancies uncovered during the migration of the federal balances and unpaid value-added tax on remittance transactions.
Based on the resolution of the House that was passed last week, we're supposed to make our findings and our decisions available for plenary before the end of January of 2026.
The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edu, acknowledged that reconciliation between fiscal and monetary authorities is continuous, but stressed the need for clarity, transparency, and a defined timeline.
Turnaround, I would say, of the Nigerian economy, including the metrics that came out yesterday showing lower, even further lowering of inflation, are part of this, what I would call general interaction, consultation, and working together. So part of that is our attempt to sit together to reconcile what actually, under the law, under the Fiscal Responsibility Act, is actually owed, what is owed, and to whom is it owed.
Lawmakers, however, urged caution, emphasizing the need to balance accountability with fair hearing.
I want to implore my colleague through the chairman to allow them, little time to come up with their documents that they said they are compiling. I think these are documents that should ordinarily be there, at their fingertip. They just recall it and submit to us.
The Fiscal Responsibility Commission also welcomed the reconciliation process, admitting challenges in enforcing compliance, but noting that recent legal amendments have strengthened its mandate. The committee has now fixed January 19, 2026 for the submission of reconciliation reports and January 26 for the personal appearance of the CBN governor. Findings from the final hearing will be presented to the House at plenary. From the National Assembly, Anie T. Patrick, reporting for Global TV News.
The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has secured an order of a federal high court in Lagos to detain a ship, its captain, and 20 other crew members following the seizure of 25.5 kilograms of cocaine in the hatch of the commodity vessel from Brazil at the Apapa Seaport in Lagos State by operatives of the agency. A statement by the spokesman of the NDLEA, Femi Babafemi, today said this is coming on the heels of a similar interception by NDLEA officers of another commodity-laden vessel, MV Nord Bostros, from the port of Santos in Brazil, with no less than 20 kilograms of a Class A drug buried under its cargo on 16th November at the Apapa Seaport, Lagos. NDLEA operatives acting on credible intelligence had on the 6th December 2025 discovered the cocaine consignment aboard the merchant vessel MV San Antonio from Brazil. No fewer than 250 elderly persons in Benue State have benefited from the Renewed Hope Initiative Elderly Support Scheme, receiving 200,000 naira each alongside medical support during the Yuletide season. The gesture underscores the commitment of the Nigeria's First Lady and the National Chairman of the initiative, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, to the welfare of elderly citizens, women, children, and older vulnerable groups. Our correspondent, Felicity Nderi, reports.
Joy and relief were evident as elderly citizens and widows in Benue State received financial and medical assistance under the Renewed Hope Initiative Elderly Support Scheme, easing challenges of old age and vulnerability. The initiative, themed Finding Joy in Old Age, targets hunger and poverty among vulnerable groups, in line with the Governor Hyacinth Elia-led administration commitment to improving living conditions across the state.
This social investment program embodies our ongoing efforts to ensure that our elderly citizens live with dignity and joy in a nation that genuinely cares for its own.
Beneficiaries described the support as timely and impactful, noting that it has eased both financial and medical pressures.
This money is going to enhance the living of my family. I am going to invest it on this port.
I'm going to bank the money today so that when the rainy season comes, I will buy inputs for farming.
I was thinking how to get money to to pay my son's school fee who is studying medical science in Benue State University. But with this today amount of money, I relieve my parents.
Widows describe the support as a major source of encouragement, saying it has eased their hardship and restored confidence that their concerns are being addressed.
As a widow, even if it's tomato or pepper that I'm going to sell, I know that since she gave us this money from one heart, because she's a woman with a heart of gold, this money, when you put it into business, is going to come 100-fold.
The Renewed Hope Initiative State Coordinator in Benue State and Special Advisor to the Governor on Women Affairs, Honorable Scholastica Benso, described the initiative as a deliberate effort to ensure a better and more dignified life for elderly citizens, particularly during the Yuletide season.
This is Her Excellency's way of celebrating our elderly citizens across the nation. And for Benue, as you can see, due to everything that has hit us, this is well appreciated. And then the governor adding to it to support us with medical outreach and also rice for them to have this Christmas package we appreciate. So all this is just for the season and to make them feel loved and special.
The elderly beneficiaries also praised the First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, for her compassion and outreach, highlighting how her initiatives have renewed hope and encouraged healthier living across the state. In Makurdi, Felicity Ndere, reporting for Global Television News.
Let's now return to the National Assembly, where the House of Representatives has addressed concerns over the precautionary landing of a Nigerian Air Force aircraft in Burkina Faso, warning against the spread of misinformation capable of undermining Nigeria's diplomatic relations and public trust. National Assembly correspondent Aniete Patrick has the details.
Lawmakers went into an executive session shortly after plenary commenced, a closed-door meeting that lasted about 42 minutes. When the House reconvened, members adopted a motion of urgent public importance on the incident involving a Nigerian Air Force C-130 aircraft. The House was informed that the aircraft, which was on an unauthorized ferry flight to Portugal for routine maintenance, made a safety-driven landing in Burkina Faso on December 18, 2025. In line with international aviation standards. Lawmakers emphasized that the aircraft was not on any operational or intelligence mission and that there was no verified evidence of interception or airspace violation.
The House is concerned that prolonged uncertainty surrounding the aircraft and its personnel could negatively affect national morale, civil-military confidence, and Nigeria's image within the sub-region. Swift, coordinated and transparent action is necessary.
It's extremely important that we also work with the other ECOWAS partners, ECOWAS countries, to make sure that the political space, the civic space within the region discourages coups that may be fermenting across the region.
That we have more professional touch in our diplomatic engagements. This is more so that it will help us, it will avoid second-guessing while we are handling such very intricate diplomatic issues that will always confront this nation from time to time.
The House mandated its relevant committees to engage the appropriate ministries and agencies and report back within 2 weeks. Lawmakers also urged the federal government to activate bilateral ECOWAS and African Union mechanism to address the matter. From the National Assembly, Aniete Patrick reporting for Global TV News.
Now, in a major diplomatic move, the Nigerian Senate has confirmed the nominations of Lateef Are, Aminu Dalhatu, and Emmanuel Okey as non-carrier ambassadors. Their confirmation followed the presentation of a report by the Chairman Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs, Sani Bello. Topsy Gimba has the details.
According to the senator, the nominees who hailed from Ogun, Jigawa and Oyo states respectively met all the requirements during their screening.
The committee therefore recommends as follows. 1. That the Senate do confirm the nomination of Lateef Kayode Kolawole Are as appointment as a non-carrier ambassador of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. 2. That the Senate do confirm the nomination of Aminu Muhammad Dalhatu for appointment as non-carrier ambassador of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And finally, that the Senate do confirm the nomination of Emmanuel Ayodele Oke, CFR, for appointment as non-career ambassador of the Federal Republic, Nigeria.
Are, Dalhatu, and Oke were the first three nominees forwarded to the Senate by President Bola Tinubu for confirmation. 65 other nominees have been screened by the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs and await confirmation. In a related development, the Senate has also confirmed Dr. Chukwuemeka Chukwu as the resident electoral commissioner for Abia State in the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC.
Competence and integrity as guided by the Constitution, and found him suitable for reappointment as resident electoral commissioner.
The nomination of Dr. Chukwuemeka J. Chukwu, representing Abia State, is hereby confirmed as resident electoral commissioner, INEC, in the Independent National Electoral Commission.
The Red Chamber also confirmed Aisha Mahmoud Kantibelo and Dr. Anma Shaun Fawat Olayinka as commissioners of the National Electricity Regulatory Commission, NEC. Topsy Gimba, reporting for Global Television News.
Let's move away from diplomacy to security, where in a renewed push to tackle banditry and displacement in Nigeria's northwest, the European Union has launched a targeted peace-building intervention aimed at addressing the root causes of violent conflict and restoring stability in affected communities. Our correspondent, Kabir Hassan, reports.
Zamfara and Katsina State remains among the hardest hit by banditry and prolonged insecurity in the northwest. Years of violent attacks on rural communities has forced thousands to flee from their homes, disrupted farming activities, and destroyed livelihood, worsening poverty and humanitarian conditions across the region. Available data as of 2025 shows that more than 650,000 people have been displaced across the northwest, with Zamfara State accounting for about 200,000 internally displaced persons, many still unable to return home. In response, stakeholders converged in Gusau, the Zamfara state capital, for a launch of conflict prevention, crisis response and resilience program. The Chief Mission International Organization for Migration, Demand Sharon, says the program targets Zamfara and Katsina states, focusing on peace building, social cohesion and support for vulnerable population affected by conflict.
Too many families have been displaced. Too many farms have been abandoned, and too many lives have been disrupted because of insecurity. Yet, despite these challenges, the people of Zamfara have shown great resilience.
The European Union ambassador to Nigeria, Guti Amigot, reaffirmed the EU's long-standing commitment to Nigeria's peace, stability, and sustainable development through community-driven solutions.
And today I'm here to reaffirm the EU's unwavering commitment to supporting Nigeria in our common fight against violence.
Zamfara State Governor Dauda Lawal described the initiative as timely, noting that it aligns with his administration development agenda centered on inclusion, sustainability, and people-focused governance.
The project being launched today reflects this understanding. By focusing on early intervention, community-level engagement, institutional coordination, and social recovery, the initiative aligns with our development philosophy.
Stakeholders say the success of the program will mark a turning point for communities battered by years of violence, paving the way for the safe return of displaced persons, the rebuilding of livelihood, and a more peaceful future for Zamfara, Katsina, and Nigerian Northwest at large. Kabir Hassan, reporting for Global TV News.
You are watching the live broadcast of News Cycle. When News Cycle returns, Navy Chief hails CNS volleyball spikers. Details coming shortly, plus business and foreign stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. You're welcome back from that break, and now to business news, where Nigeria's small business sector is set for a major expansion in 2026. As the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria, SMIDEN, unveils sweeping plans to formalize millions of enterprises, expand access to funding, and strengthen support infrastructure nationwide. The Director General SMIDEN, Charles Odi, disclosed this while briefing journalists in Abuja. Our correspondent, Kikelomo Kere, has the details.
The Director General SMIDEN, Charles Odi, announced that
ongoing efforts to formalize informal businesses, which began in 2020, are expected to add more than 250,000 newly registered enterprises by the first quarter of 2026, with an ambitious target of registering 1 million additional businesses across the country. Odi stressed that business formalization remains critical to growth, visibility, and access to opportunities for small enterprises.
In 2026, we should have handed over 250,000 new registered businesses. And we are currently, I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag, but we're pushing with the presidency for another 1 million. So the last time we counted, we had about 39,654,385 nano, micro, small, and medium enterprises. But we are very certain that even though these are interesting times for small businesses, that number would go up because of the formalization process that is happening that is happening now and will be unveiled in 2026.
The Smith & Boss also reveals that a new national MSMEs policy under review since 2021 is nearing completion. It says the policy is being developed with strong stakeholders' engagement to ensure it directly addresses the real challenges facing micro, small, and medium enterprises. On social inclusion, Odi says the agency is implementing programs aimed at reintegrating ex-prisoners into society through skills training and employment opportunities within the MSME sector to reduce stigma and promote economic inclusion. It further disclosed that 12 billion naira in affordable funding is currently available to small businesses with over 500,000 enterprises already benefiting.
Today is just one facility. We are working with some state governments. Some of them are very receptive. We want to make sure that we can replicate this across. Imagine that we have 774 of this across Nigeria. People, I think that would reduce the high rate of unemployment and insecurity in the country. Because there's a triangle that I always try to draw. Hunger leads to anger, anger leads to violence. So if you want to stop violence and insecurity, then let's address it from the hunger level. If our people are employed, our people are doing a lot of business, our people are doing a lot of job and they can see the fruits of their labor, they won't pick up arms.
Odi also emphasized plans to establish business support center in all 774 local government area and expressed optimism that approval for a proposed microfinance bank by the Central Bank of Nigeria will further strengthen support for professionals and business clusters. With increased funding, wider formalization, and a renewed policy framework, Smith says the coming year will mark a turning point for Nigeria's small business economy. Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News.
On the foreign scene, President of Sudan's Transitional Sovereign Council, Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, has arrived Riyadh for talks with Saudi officials. According to the Saudi press agency, the two leaders are to review the situation in Sudan, its regional implications, and ongoing efforts to achieve security and stability in the war-torn country. Saudi Arabia is part of the Quad that includes the United States, Egypt, and the United Arab Emirates. President Donald Trump has signed a proclamation further restricting entry to the United States for nationals from countries deemed high risk due to demonstrated persistent and severe deficiencies in screening, vetting, and information sharing that threaten United States national security and public safety. Among the 15 additional countries newly subjected to partial restriction is Nigeria. The announcement comes directly from the White House website, which limits the entry of foreign nationals to protect the security of the United States. And now to sport, where the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Idi Abbas, has celebrated the CNS volleyball spikers for flying the flag of the Nigerian Navy high, describing the recent outing as a testament to discipline, teamwork, and naval excellence. Our correspondent Samuel Odi has the details.
Receiving the team at the Naval Headquarters, Vice Admiral Abbas praised the resilience and consistency, saying their performance brought pride not only to Navy but to the nation. The naval chief reveals that sport plays a critical role in building physical fitness, mental strength, and operational effectiveness within the service. He assured the players of sustained institutional support, noting that their welfare would remain a priority. He charged the team to mentor young naval personnel, ensuring continuity and long-term dominance in naval sports.
We are selecting the best, and I will encourage you to keep it up, and possibly the younger ones that will come behind you, you mentor them, just like what your chairman has asked, to give consideration.
Vice Admiral Abbas also underscored the need to harness sporting talents during recruitment, describing it as a strategic move to strengthen the Navy's competitive edge across sporting platforms. Expressing confidence in the team's future, the Chief of Naval Staff urged players to stay focused, united, and committed to achieving even greater milestones.
So, be that as it may, the two requests that you have raised, we'll take care of them, and I assure you.
Now that's it on Global TV News Cycle. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and on Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all our social media platforms, now showing on your screen using our Global TV NG. I am Mukhtar Kasim, saying a very big thank you for watching.